They're not animals, they're humans, and they have a family and people that love them and care for them. And it's not right that they should be treated that way. And on my son end, like I say, he had an expectancy to live to 70, 80. He could have become the president. He could have did anything that he put his mind to. And the fact that the system there is designed to mess these people up, inhumane system, caused my son to die.
Good morning. This is Epicenter NYC. We connect our communities to news, information, and each other. I'm Andrea Pineda Salgado. Over the past 2 years alone, 16 men died in the Rikers Island Jail Complex. Among them was Stephan Khadu. Stephan was arrested in 2019 along with 9 other men, allegedly members of the Brick Squad, a Brooklyn street gang. The state charged them in a 48-count indictment with conspiracy to commit murder, weapons possession, narcotics possession, and other crimes. He was 22 years old. Stephan was sent to Rikers to await trial. His mom, Lezandre, had major concerns about the conditions, and in the summer of 2021, she learned that her son came close to death. Stephan had 5 seizures and ended up in the hospital. For the next few months, he continued to have seizures, and officers frequently failed to get him the medical attention he needed. Then, in September, Lezandre got a call that would change her life. A medical examiner said Stephan died of natural causes from a meningitis infection. But meningitis infections are preventable, and Lezandre says it shouldn't have been a death sentence. So, she's filed a wrongful death lawsuit. Today, Lezandre shares the story of her son. But before we begin, a quick message from our friends and sponsors at McKinsey & Company.
Find out about the biggest ideas in business on McKinsey's Insights app, where you can listen to podcasts like our flagship show, The McKinsey Podcast.
We're so not tuned in to the dynamic going on for the current employees, what matters to them most.
Or watch our Author Talk series featuring law professor Dorothy A. Brown.
60% of Black college students don't graduate. And when I came across that statistic, I got so depressed.
And read lots of articles about, for example, The Next Normal, where you can learn about the coronavirus's latest impact on business. To hear, see, and read more, download McKinsey's Insights app now.
Now, back to the show. Here's my conversation with Lezandre.
Well, hello, my name is Lezandre Khadu. I'm the mother of Stephan Khadu. That's my 24-year-old son.
So I guess just to start off, what was he like when he was young? What was his childhood like?
He was just the most sweetest, lovable, caring, charisma. As a kid, he was very, very smart, even as an adult. Anywhere Stephan went, he was, like just the it person. When he played sports as a kid, he started off, it was a neighbor in his grandmother's building, Coach Lloyd. And he had 2 sons. So he would take his 2 sons, Stephan and Stephan's uncle, just to throw the football around. After a while, so many people started coming up to him because it's rare that we have a football team in Bedford-Stuyvesant. So he actually organized the Bedford-Stuyvesant football team. It was called Brooklyn Pitbulls. And Stephan was just immaculate in playing football. Like Stephan, I assumed he was going to be a football player because he was so great at it. And again, he had the charisma. So any game we went to, guaranteed Stephan was going to make at least 4 points, 7 points, touchdown. Like everyone is in the stadium chanting for him. But when he got to high school and he played for Boys and Girls High School, it was like, to me, it was one of the best times in my life. I had a lot of good memories with that because he loved it. Like everything was football. And I was like the team mom. So he catch a touchdown. I'm at the end of the field like, that's my son. Like everything. And then I seen him striving for me. He was a 9th grader playing with the varsity team. But that was one of the greatest times in my life.
Would you mind just telling me a little bit more about the events leading up to him going to Rikers?
Stephan was like in the prime of his life. Like He just turned 22 in September. Him and his girlfriend went to Vegas, and he was just having the best time of his life. Like, couldn't wait for his sister to she just turned 19 in November. Then she was 18 at that time. She was going to be 17. He was going to buy her a car, and them two, despite their 5 years apart, you would think they were twins. He was just feeding for Stephanie's birthday because we was going to go on a trip and we was going to do all this stuff. His son was turning 1. So he was having like this huge, big, extravagant party that I cursed him out every day about it because I was like, what? Like, why you spending so much money? You bugging. He was like, Ma, you gotta be kidding me. Old lady, you mad cheap. He was just happy. Like, happy to do anything for us, for me, for my mom, for my sisters, for his sister, for anyone. It was just like, help, call me, I'm coming. You need something, call me, I'm coming. Fun, yeah, I'm coming to have fun. Like, coming to chill with my family. He just was always just here. Like, that night, he got arrested December 19th. December 18th, we were at my sister-in-law's house, and Stephan called me like, Ma, you cooking? I was like, yeah. You coming? He was like, yeah, me and Lika in Brooklyn, so we're going to come. I'm like, yes. So I made a fried salmon burger, and I sent Stephan the pictures because now it's like, I spoke to him, it was like 5 o'clock. Here it is like 9, 10 o'clock. So I'm like, bro, you not coming? Like, stop lying, Stephan. Like, you lied just like your father. Like, if you come. He like, yeah, boy, Mom, I'm coming. I swear I'm coming. Ma, I'll be there like in 20 minutes. I was like, okay, let's see. Now I'm sitting up. It's about 1 o'clock. I text him. I said, you lying MF, I know you ain't coming, but the food is here. And I took the picture of the plates. I said, but I'm sending sister $20. She need money for school. And probably like an hour later, so it was probably like 2 in the morning, he texts back, laugh out loud. Got you, Ma, I sent it. And I said, all right, I love you, son. Be safe. God bless you. I'll speak to you in the morning. That was that. And I went to sleep. His girlfriend, Jalika, she had started a new job at that time. So me and her be on the phone in the morning and stuff. And me and her texting. And then she starts calling me. So I'm like, I just answer. I'm like, what's up? She's like, Ma, I don't know. Biggie, which is my son's friend, they were friends since small, play football together. She was like, Ma, Biggie just called me and said they arrested Pop. I said, okay, where? Like, where is he? She was like, Ma, the marshals arrested him. I said, the marshals? I said, my mind said like housing court marshals, but then I'm like, the U.S. Marshals, Lika? She's like, Ma, yes. I hung up. Jalika called me back. Like, Ma, hurry up and go. They're at Supreme Court. They're charging them with like a 31 count indictment or conspiracy or something. I'm like, what? By that evening, it was splashed all over the news, all over the newspapers. What I was bothered about was there was not a news reporter or no one there. So how did y'all assume this story? On the 19th, when he got arrested and I went to that courtroom, there was not one person on this floor other than myself, all of the young men that were arrested, and all of the U.S. Marshals. So I felt very, very offended and bad on what they were saying. And believe it or not, I stopped watching news. I was so worried, like, what is going to happen? What is going to happen? What is going to happen? I got to see Pop. And that first visit, we sit down. I said, well, what happened? What did you do? He's like, I didn't do nothing. I think they were saying they closing the tombs or something. And they was trying to distribute everybody, every place. Yeah. And by then it was just like, not an acceptance, but okay, I understand you have to be in here. You're going to keep going back and forth to court until this situation is resolved and you'll be back home with us. Literally, I never worried about, oh, my son is going to get 20 years or any of like that because he didn't do anything. It was just guilty by association and guilty of who I might have known or where I have might been.
I still want to talk about his experience in Rikers, when he was sick.
The island was overcrowded. He said they came, the correction or whatever, and was like, did anyone willingly want to go to the boat? He was like, yeah, him. I said, well, why would you do that? Why would you want to go to the boat? He was like, mine been outside. I have not seen outside since I went to jail. And I'm like, all right. He like, well, mine's it's pretty cool in here, whatever. It's like a boat. I was like, so what do you mean? It's like cells and things like that. And I'm like, well, is it hot in here? Is it cold? He like, it's cool in here or whatever. I'm like, all right. And I still ain't see him because it was COVID, so we couldn't see each other. So we did the Zoom visits and everything. And it was just like a boat. And I remember as a kid hearing people say, yeah, you in jail on a boat in the Bronx. I ain't never see it. And when it initially took place, me and my husband weren't here, we were away. And we came home that night, and the morning time came and my phone ring is Stephanie, and I'm on hello. She's screaming, why you need to get to the hospital? They said, go to the I said, what? Like, what are you talking about? Super, which is his friend that became his brother in jail, he called screaming that Stephan had 5 seizures and hurry up and get to Lincoln Hospital. So I'm like, what? So my mind, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna kill this jail. They done beat my son into a seizure. Like, why would he have a seizure? So we get to the hospital. I went to the desk, the station, how the nurses beat at the desk. I'm like, hi, good afternoon. My name is Lezandre Khadu. I just got a call that my son was brung in, Stephan Khadu. He's the inmate. I'm like, excuse me. I don't know if everyone pressed the off button on their ears, but nobody responded back to me. So I said, okay. I walked around. As soon as I walked around, I seen an officer. But the hospital security, it was 2 officers back there and the hospital security. One officer was sitting down and there was a tall lady. And I was like, hello, my name is I'm Lezandre Khadu. I'm appearing with Stephan Khadu. Can you have to leave. By then, I was scared. It's crazy as it was, right? I didn't do anything. She's not the police, but I got scared. And she was like, you have to leave. You have to leave. And like I said, I got scared. I started crying and I said, ma'am, please, like, I'm not going to do anything. Like, I just want to know if my son is okay. Just tell me my son is all right. Just tell me he's living. And she was like, you have to leave. And her exact words was, for one, your son is property of Department of Correction. For 2, he's 22 and I don't have to tell you anything. I said, excuse me? I took my mask off. I said, you're a woman, right? Whether you bear kids or not, we have woman instinct. Can you pull your braid and at least tell me my son is okay? I don't have to tell you anything. He had 2 seizures. He fine. By then, I said to her, yeah, quote unquote, I said, the day that you wake up and your feet are backwards and you cannot care or think for your family, know what you just told me. She was like, get them out of here. I couldn't believe what was going on. I had to walk out this hospital, not knowing if Stephan was actually living or dead, not knowing if he even knew that mom is there, like my mom is outside. I called the boat, the barge, just to confirm that they didn't throw his stuff away. The phone is busy for hours. Nobody answered. And nobody answered that day. Nobody answered. I said, you know what? Enough is enough. I'm coming back there again. And as soon as we got out the cabin, I got on the premises of the hospital, a number called and I answered it. And he said his name was Dr. Wolf. And I said, okay. He said, okay, well, you know, your son was brung in from a facility. He had 2 seizure episodes. I said, what you mean? 2 seizures. I was told that it was 5. He goes, well, this is what the officer said to me. I said, okay, so what's going on now? He said, we don't know what's causing the seizures. I said, okay, so when will my son be home? He was like, the problem is, Miss Khadu, the seizures were so bad and his bones were stiff for so long, his bones became brittle. And them being brittle let out toxics into his bloodstream, and the blood is leaking into his kidney, and your son's kidney is failing. So we're keeping him, Miss Khadu, the fear of his kidney failing. And if his kidney fails, Miss Khadu, and the way is dropping, we're going to have to give him emergency dialysis. My mom died from kidney disease. I know once your kidney dropped 15, you got you a problem. What do you mean my son's kidney is failing? Well, we're giving him Kefrin to prevent seizures. We're giving him antibiotics and stuff to make sure there's no infection, and we're monitoring the kidney. I said, okay. That's all I could do is say, okay. I called everyone I knew. I gave everyone an update. By that point, everyone was 311. I think 311 was beyond overwhelming us. They wrote letters to the warden, to Albany. We still didn't get a response from them. His father, nobody. Emailed them, nobody. Days just went past. It was a Saturday now, a Sunday, and I ain't know nothing. My husband's birthday is July 13th. I'm like, we not gonna do nothing because we don't know nothing. It was July 12th. It was like 6 o'clock in the evening. I was just sitting in my window. I don't know. And the phone rang, and it was the hearts, the sunshine in the hearts, but that don't mean nothing because the friend's been calling me. And when it called, now we got another long way of telling you that we're listening more to everything and everything and everything. But when it says hello, it says the name. I knew his voice. And I just wanted to record and hurry up and stop. And then when he was like, Ma, I just said, shut up. And I just prayed so hard. And I prayed and I prayed and I prayed and I prayed. I prayed till the call was over. And I just started yelling and telling him, he back there, y'all, he good, he good, he good. And when he called back, that's when we talked. And I asked him, like, how you feeling? Are you okay? I knew it was bad. He said when he was talking to the doctors and they were asking him about his medical history, and, you know, they asked about your grandparents and stuff, he told him to call my mom. He forgot my mom was dead. He was like, my grandma got heart issues and high blood pressure, and my grandma got kidney disease, but if you call her, she'll tell you. He said when the doctor came back in the second time is when he remembered, like, I'm sorry, I can't remember, but my grandma died. I don't remember when, but my grandma died. I knew it was bad. When he asked his sister how old she was, he said, Ma, I keep getting a sharp, like a stinging pain from like my arm down to my fingers. I said, Stephan, you might be having a heart attack. I'm like, get to the hospital, get to now. That's a sign of a heart attack. He was like, Ma, I'm telling you, I feel okay. I'm like, no, Stephan, if you say it's coming from your shoulder to your fingers or your left hand, that's a sign of a heart attack, Stephan. You just had a seizure. You don't know what's going on with your body. Like I said, when he complained and I called, they just said it's just side effects of the seizure. The scream, it was a horrible scream, but I didn't think nothing. But the scream was so bad, I just jumped up out the bed like that. And when I jumped up, I opened the room door. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, what are y'all doing out here? And she was just like, and I'm like, what happened, Stephanie? She was like, your son is dead. I was like, what? Who? I just fell on the floor. Then it was just like bits and pieces. Like, I remember trying to get my phone, like to call my husband, to call my mother-in-law, to like, it was like, I didn't know how to use my phone. I'm just screaming like they lying. By then it's just like, I think I pulled the phone wire out the wall. I think I broke the machine. Then it was just like, people start coming in the house and it's just like screaming, and I'm just screaming, and I can't stop screaming. And it's just like, no. I remember, I think I went to dial and it was the text from the lawyer. I haven't seen the text from him in years. He's like, what the fuck? Call me now, Miss Khadu. Then he called and I'm like, hello. Like, what is going on? He's like, Miss Khadu, like, what is going on? They're saying Stephan is dead. And I'm just screaming, they lying, 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 they lying. I remember just being so like out of it. And it was 3 big men that came in the hallway. They didn't make sense to me. So I said, I don't know if it was to one of my friends or my sister-in-law or somebody. I said, like, ask these people who they are. And the people said, we're here from the Department of Correction. We're here to notify Stephan Khadu family. They basically was like, they were here to notify us of the passing of Stephan Khadu, and that he died from a seizure, and we could go identify him at Lincoln Medical Hospital. He wasn't just the person in jail. He was a human. He was a son. He was a father. He was a brother. He was a cousin. He was a friend. And he had a humongous family and people that loved him. And that's just the same for anyone that went in there. All of them young men that died in there, and the person that just passed away, and the ones that are still in there suffering, they're still human beings. And there's still people that love them and care for them. And the time that my son was in jail, I know how I felt. So I could imagine how other people felt. When my son died, I didn't even know that there were anyone that had actually passed away prior to that. So it was a big shocker to me. So for those guys that are there, like I say, they're not animals, they're humans, and they have a family and people that love them and care for them. And it's not right that they should be treated that way. And on my son end, like I say, he had an expectancy to live to 70, 80. He could have become the president. He could have did anything that he put his mind to. And the fact that the system there is designed to mess these people up, inhumane system, caused my son to die.
What advice would you give to families going through the same thing?
Mother to mother, don't be quiet. Find peace. It took me a month to be able to speak because I was in a state of shock, waking up thinking that this was a dream that I was going to wake up from. And on October 12th, when I found peace to speak up, I never stopped talking. So to the families, to the wives, to the mothers, to the kids, I know what you guys are feeling. Just come on out. Don't be quiet. Like I say, I'm Hispanic and I was born in Trinidad. My dad is Trinidadian and my mom is Spanish. So many people died and fought for us just to sit on a bus together. Like, we need to fight for this. These are our sons. Like, again, to the families, I'm beyond speechless to tell y'all how sorry I am because I know the feeling, but don't be quiet. Please, I know you guys are hurting and you guys are confused and you got answers and nobody's giving you answers because it's like, so what? They were in jail, they died, but please don't be quiet. Like, people ask me, how do I do it? Because it's like I'm reliving it over again. Yes, it is, but it gives me some type of strength to know that I'm speaking out on something that was wrong, and there are people that's willing to sit down and talk and just ask questions on who he was, because all they know was a Stephan Khadu casualty 12 and how the jail system labels them. So speak out on your kids, speak on the behalf of them, tell the whole entire world, the planet, who he was, what they love to eat. Just don't be quiet.
Stephan was set to go to trial 1 month after he passed away, but now all that families like Khadu's have left are memories of their loved ones. Lezandre reminds us that he wasn't just a person in jail. He was a human. He was a son. He was a father. He was a brother. He was a cousin. He was a friend. Stephan leaves behind his family, including 2 children, Kalani and Stephan Jr. Rikers has long been known for its unspeakable violence and inhumane conditions. As a result, former Mayor Bill de Blasio's administration proposed to close it and replace it with 4 new jails in 4 boroughs. One of them, the mega jail in Chinatown. You can learn more about this in last week's episode or in our story linked to in our show notes. But is this enough? How do we know that new jails won't have the same problems as Rikers? This is the conversation we need to have. So make sure to click the link in our show notes for resources and more information that's happening with Rikers. Finally, before we go, a new weekly segment with our community manager focused on COVID-19 here in New York City.
Yesterday, March 22nd, Mayor Eric Adams announced that beginning on April 4th, kids 4 and under will no longer be required to wear a mask in public schools and daycare centers. This means children that haven't been vaccinated will be able to attend school without a face covering. While some celebrate the news, others have concerns. For adults, but even more so for kids, the quick shifts in masking policies are confusing and stressful. If you're feeling this way, you're not alone. That's why we've put together a survey to collect and share stories about neighbors like you navigating the ever-changing COVID policies in schools. So, if you're a parent, student, teacher, or staff member, please consider filling out our survey linked in the show notes. We'd love to hear from you. And if you have any other COVID-related questions, you can always reach out to me directly at daniel@epicenter-nyc.com.
For more ways to get involved in your community, visit us at epicenter-nyc.com. That's all for today. Thanks for listening. And thanks for supporting us as we do our best to support our community. We couldn't do it without you. And if you're not already a member, sign up today by using the link in our show notes. Our intro music is All the Pretty Horses by Karavika. You can find more of their music on their website linked to in our podcast description.